So, I'm going to be talking about AI. With AI on YouTube, there is nothing more demoralizing than seeing thousands of AI videos constantly. Now, let me tell you guys something. And you guys have heard me say this before, I'd say generally a big advocate for AI. I like AI. I think it is one of the biggest steps for the future of technological advancement. Now, there are consequences to having it, of course, like every piece of technology, or most pieces of technology, right? Your toaster doesn't really cost humanity that much. Big inventions like this, it changes a lot of things, and I'm okay with that. I like AI as a fundamental concept. I think things like Grok for research purposes are fantastic. I think things like Base 44 that can allow you to make apps and things, I think those are great. It expands creativity. It allows you to think, research, whatever you want. But there are, of course, downsides to it. One of the significant downsides is videos. Let me ask you, why would I ever want to watch a fully machine-generated thing over a human doing something? Why would I want that? A piece of entertainment. And let me tell you guys something. I think AI is superior to humans in a lot of different ways, okay? Now, not entirely right now, okay? I think the dumbest numbskull you've ever met is way, way, way worse than AI in most things. But of course, in terms of the average human, average humans are still usually better at most things. But I think that that's going to change in the future. But that's not the point. There is one thing AI cannot replace: entertainment. Humans have mastered entertainment. In fact, I'd say it's just about the only thing humans are good for in general. Okay? That includes me, it includes anybody else. Okay? You make a machine, the machine is almost always going to do better than you at whatever you've designed it to do. But you know what the design is? The design is the creativity. The creativity spawns practicality. And in entertainment, it doesn't require practicality. It requires creativity, which is why humans are so good at it. Is because you can turn raw creativity into something that is manifested. Okay? Look at Shakespeare's plays. They are genius. They are perfection. They really are. Okay, now I'm a big fan of Shakespeare, right? I like poems, I like plays. That kind of creativity is what spawns good things in this world. However, machines cannot mimic that creativity. They can mimic other things. They can mimic voices and be used for creativity. You've seen that. I use AI for the AI president's videos. Now, you know why I do that? It's very straightforward. I can't get Donald J. Trump or Joe Biden or Barack Obama into my house so I can have them voice act for a random YouTube video where I talk about anime and laugh about goofy hijinks. Obviously, you would use a machine for that because I'm not going to get the president here. If the president's coming to my house, I'm discussing policy. I'm not going to have him, I'm not even thinking about YouTube. This is going beyond that. AI has begun to create videos just raw and straight on its own. You know what the worst thing is? When I see a pure AI video, and also another thing, this isn't including videos like the Hassan Shock My Dog video. That is perfection. That video is fantastic, it's funny, and another thing, it's written by a human. A human still wrote all the stuff. They didn't just put in a prompt and say, hey, go do this. All the dialogue is still intricately written. That's why it works as a song. And that's why it's also catchy and you're thinking about it for like 10 hours after you hear it. Is because it's still written like a normal song. It's just the imagery and the voice is AI. That's not what I'm talking about. I'm talking about whole entire videos that have been purely manifested using a machine. And you know what the problem with this is? There is never a point in time where I want to spend 10 hours making a video, and then I go on YouTube, and you know what the worst thing in the world to see is? A purely AI-made video that has 14 million views. And you get 100. A human that has spent time. I'm not being paid either. This is not like they're trying to shortcut me because I'm taken out of their wallet. I don't take nothing from their wallet. In fact, they probably just make money off me and I make no money off them. That's cool. I'm fine with that. I'm fine if YouTube wants to be the greatest parasite of all time on my channel. That's great. I'll serve you, I'll kiss your feet, whatever you want. But for the love of God, do not have a tin can, I can't even comprehend the math for that, 10,000% more views on a video that took 20 minutes to make. Isn't that unbelievable? We have reached a point where greed is so exponential. Somebody can click a couple of buttons and that sells for entertainment. Nothing. It is nothing. And I'm not even talking, now this does sort of include those videos, I'm not even talking about the ones where it's like Star Wars, where they got whole interactions that are done fully through AI. I'm talking about, let me think, like those Bigfoot vlog videos. Yeah, they're funny, but those don't require much. Same way I'm seeing videos with the UK and that Amelia figure. I think those are funny, and I like the message that they display. But the problem with it is, there's no thought put into it. You know, there's nothing to it. There's no substance, no soul to it. And once again, this loops back to what I said before. I like AI. I think that it has, in a lot of cases, it feels like it has more soul than humans do. A lot of humans really suck at doing most things. But in this case, that doesn't apply. So, one thing I don't want to do is I don't want to wake up in the morning, say, I gotta make a video, and when I go to make a video, I work off blood, sweat, and tears to dispense something I put my heart and soul into. And I'm not just talking about reviews, I'm talking about every time I have a great idea. Let me list off some ideas that I have noted down, just so you guys know. Top idea, why Sid Kagano is one of the most evil anime characters, and why I hate him. That's going to be a whole thing. Trump and Biden discussed Katawa Shoujo. That's going to be another one. What is the canon route of making lovers, the visual novel game? Let's see. What if blank was in the Danganronpa universe? I'm planning on turning that into a series. So like the SCP Foundation or CIA. You know, like the CIA would naturally be in it, but they don't apply it. So yeah. Let's see, another video, my top 10 favorite anime. It's a very simple one, but I think it would be fun because I have different opinions, things like that, than most people. Best romance anime main characters tier list. That's another one. Very simple. I'm going to do it. I'm bothered. I'm bothered by how hard it is. I'm bothered by how much work you have to put in. And it's not just about the work. The work is okay. If I were overworked near death, that would be okay. If somebody were to kneel down and say, you're doing a good job, that would be great. Now, you guys are here. Everything here is centered around entertainment. That is the value of the industry, is freedom. It is creativity. But what happens when you've contaminated that is what you look at on YouTube here. It is everywhere. You have nothing but the same thing. You know how many times I have opened YouTube and I have seen the text, "It's over," on a video thumbnail? I want you guys to look up commentary YouTube channels and tell me how many times you see white text with a bold outline that says, "It's over." The fact that I'm able to even know that line specifically, it's such a random line at that, shows how repetitive it is. It is redundant too. And that's the worst part. It is redundancy. It has been made redundant, and because it's redundant, the creative ideas, the ones that don't exist prior to you making them, they don't get noticed because it's all the same thing. In an ocean, how are you supposed to see a starfish floating on the surface? Where are you going to see it? Near the shore? Where on the shore? Where are you standing? You got miles upon miles of land. Are you going to look out with binoculars and just see a starfish? No, of course not. And that's what we are here. We're the starfish. Everything else, that's the ocean. You can't see into the ocean. It's endless. It's all the same. It's repetitive. All that stuff, and he's the top YouTuber. I'd say big reason he's the top YouTuber is money. He has the money to keep it going. Now, that isn't to say necessarily that he isn't entertaining. I'm sure he is. I don't watch him, so I can't make a judgment, which is why I'm not saying he is or isn't. But he is certainly not, as a matter of fact, I do know this, he is not the most entertaining person on the platform, right? Markiplier, I'd say, is infinitely more, but he has a modicum of the subscribers, and this isn't to glaze Mark. My point being, creativity is not a factor here. It isn't anymore. I don't know when it stopped being a factor. Now, you could reference Jacksepticeye when he said Mr. Beast ruined YouTube, but Mr. Beast, his rise to fame was like 2018, 2019, something like that. You can tie the decline of YouTube's creativity to that kind of thing, but I'm not so sure he's the cause of it necessarily. I don't know. That's another thing. So much has been targeted towards children because a lot of children's media is repetitive stuff. And I don't know what they get out of doing that. I don't know. And you could say they're cultivating a generation of people that are going to be dependent on YouTube or whatever, right? But it just, I don't know. And that's the thing that bothers me. It doesn't, and I've said this, if I haven't said this, guys, I'm going to say this now. When it comes to anything in this world, I care if it makes sense. Let's apply this to YouTube. The algorithm makes so little sense that it bothers me. If the algorithm was looking at who can make me the most money, who works the hardest, who is going to work for the lowest reward, just like in any sort of work environment, okay? They want to hire the illegal immigrant versus you because they can hire the illegal for cheaper, pay them basically nothing, and the illegal's never going to argue with them. YouTube, you'd think, would want the illegal. But they don't, and they also don't want the legitimate worker either. They don't want anybody. What, like, really? They want the kiosk. YouTube wants the kiosk. Does the kiosk have supervision? Is there a maintenance team for the kiosk? Well, no. So they just want the kiosk? Yeah. So what do you work? What is there to work with? How do I beat the kiosk? I can't. There's no way to beat the kiosk. It's just that's what they want. So that's what they're gonna get. They're the toddler that wants the pony. They want so badly to have a pony, no matter how many times their parents tell them, "Hey, you can't ride a horse, stupid." Or, hey, we need a saddle. Or, hey, ponies are too expensive. The toddler won't listen. They want the pony. They want it so bad. And if they do get the pony, you know what they do with it? They throw it away. And they want another pony. That's YouTube. They want a pony. And the pony don't exist. And so here we are. Here we are. We are the illegal. Not literally, don't call ICE. We in this metaphorical case, that is what we are. We are the one willing to work dirt cheap. In fact, so dirt cheap, it's free. I am free. I've made literally 200 and something videos. Okay, that includes shorts and full videos. And I've made live streams, and every single video is fully edited. There is a single video on this channel, only one, that hasn't been edited entirely. It was only one single thing, part of it was edited, and that was the OBS booting up at the beginning. And that's my Five Nights at Freddy's, whatever the Gmod video was. It's like 40 minutes long or something. That's the only video on this channel that hasn't been fully edited. And the quality is still good. In fact, the quality is better than most of the old videos, which it followed all the old videos because it was my first time using that style. Or relatively first time. Essentially, what I am saying with this, every single video is hours and hours and hours of effort. All of them are filled with passion. I have watched tens, when I say tens, I mean tens of TV shows for the sake of YouTube. Many TV shows. I had a blast watching them. Now, some kind of sucked, but I kept watching them. Just like my dear friend Nokotan. I mean, it was alright. I didn't think it sucked, per se. But it was not something I would want to watch. But, here's the thing. You know why I kept watching it, even after I felt like I had to stomach the rest of it? Is because of YouTube. I thought I'm going to make a theory video on this, and it's going to be good. And I'm going to have a blast. You know who else thought of the theories for Shikanoko? Nobody. Not a single person thought of those theories. There was one theory I saw online that was similar to my pagan god theory, And that was it. And it wasn't even identical, it was just similar. It was comparing her to some other entity that exists. But you know what they didn't do? They didn't have 4 theories packed into a video. Arguably 5. 4 officially, 5 you could come up with the 5th one. Nobody did that. You know how many it got? 171 people. Now, let's compare that to Rinky Dink. Rinky Dink used his AI to generate a video that is 6 minutes long, has horrifyingly bad quality. The quality is so bad, in fact, I mean, it's gross. It's like a 1990s kids cartoon with bad CGI. And you're wondering, why did they use CGI in a kids show? And that's what they got on YouTube. And they're pumping them out. And so they got this garbage quality. The thumbnail, they didn't even make a thumbnail. They just took a part of the video. That's it. So they got a garbage thumbnail. They got a garbage quality on their video. The title is alright, but it's not great. And there's no soul, passion, or time put into the video. So, what? Now, this is where we get into the algorithm. It's okay if Rinky Dink made his video and it sucked, and it's just there. I'm fine with that. I'm fine if I see 20 views and I say, well, let's say that's 5 more than mine. Let's say he gets 120 views and I got 110. I'm okay with that. I'm cool with that. I'm like, alright, it's just 10 more. It's just chance. People still saw my video. But what I don't want to see, what I never want to see, is 14 million, or 10 million, or 12 million saw Rinky Dink video, and then I see 100 on mine. Now, once again, it is not about you having the low number. It is about something that is utterly worthless having a higher number. That's the thing. It's the lack of logic. Now we go to the algorithm. So, when Rinky Dink makes all these videos, do you know what YouTube eventually does? It pays him. It pays him to make these Rinky Dink videos. So, why would you let somebody... I mean, think of it this way. If I had to work for a year to get a raise, the company that is giving me the raise saved money because they didn't have to pay me that amount that I got raised to every single day. Now take it, these people, they get a raise every week. So tell me, you're the company. Why would you want to give somebody a raise every week? Why would you pay them that much money for nothing? They didn't work for it. They didn't try hard. In fact, they do the opposite of try hard. They are lazy, worthless workers. And not only are you paying them, period, you didn't fire them, they still work for you for some reason. Not only did you not fire them, you were in fact giving them more and more money progressively. So, in other words, they are dishing out money more so than they would with me. They would have to pay me, let's say, $10. They have to pay this guy $200. And I don't even want the money. I'm telling you, hey, you don't need to pay me, but don't pay Rinky Dink. That's all I'm asking. If you don't want to pay anybody, that's cool, that's chill. But if you're paying Rinky Dink and not paying you, what are we doing? I mean, we're serious? It's ridiculous. It's outrageous. And this is the thing. The algorithm loves the useless. They love them. They love people that can't think of something to do. So they do, let's say, a 6-minute video. They do a 6-minute video where they ramble about, pick a topic, any topic. Let's say ICE. Just because that's a popular political topic to talk about right now. So they pick a video about ICE. They talk about ICE for 6 minutes. Now, I can't even begin to talk about and begin to think of how many of these crackheads I've seen where they got their long beard, they're in their car, and they're talking about some sort of political topic. And the video's 6 minutes long, terrible quality, terrible audio, no background music, no thought. And then they start talking, and you go, whoa, this guy's a moron. They got no thumbnail. Okay, the thumbnail's just apart from the video, which is them with their mouth hanging open. They got nothing. And their title is like, these guys are done. ... That's their title. And you know what they get? The algorithm, it gets down on its hands and knees. And it sucks those toes, one by one. Clip that out of context, I dare you. And it does that for every single one of these crackhead morons. Every one of them. It does it every time. And then I look and I see, I've referenced him before, I see the homie Damien. He makes anime videos. He's got a nice microphone, nice setup. He's got passion in what he's talking about. He knows what he's talking about. He's got all these shows, all these movies, this manga, all these books that he's read and done. He's done it all. He does music. He knows music. He goes through all that. He's got the creativity. And you know what he gets? 10,000 views. 10,000 for all that. I'm seeing his videos. Some get a little higher, some get a little lower. He's getting 10,000, 12,000, 25,000, 30,000. He ain't getting 1 million. Not when he deserves 1 million, no. He's getting 10,000. Now, why is that? Why are we seeing that? Any guesses, fellas? Because I'm lost. Why would they want to pay somebody for doing nothing when they could pay somebody less for doing something that gives them money? And this is where my frustration comes in. It doesn't make sense. There's no logic. If the company wants to scam me, then scam me. Don't do nothing. Don't offer me your hand and then slap my hand. It's like some weird kid with a major mental illness where, like, he doesn't even have malicious intentions. He doesn't want to stab you with the knife he's holding. He instead wants you to reach your hand out so he can tap the palm of your hand with the bottom of the knife. He's not even trying to hurt you. He's just that weird. That's what the algorithm is. It's so illogical. I can't even, I can't believe it. No matter how hard I think about it, there's nothing I can even think of to explain why it does what it does. Does it want to promote AI? If it wants to promote AI, that's fine. But have it as a different section. Or just have advertisements for AI. You know, I see Base 44 ads. That's cool. I don't like getting ads, but that's what advertising's for. Your platform makes money off of creativity. Why would you kill creativity? I don't get it. I can't even say it's greed, because greed, it's about making money and they're making less money. I don't get it. I don't understand. They're not saving money. They're giving more money away. It's like they have brain damage. I mean, it's as simple as having one real human needs to look on the platform. They don't need to browse the platform. They need to just look up AI something. It could be anything, honestly. They look it up. They take a look. They say, oh, yeah, this is a bot channel. And that's it. Takes all but 10 seconds. And I'd understand it if these people were like government. You know, if this was the IRS or the post office, they're lazy. What do you expect, right? Or USPS or something. But no, they're YouTube. They're a company. They're a private organization. What are we doing? Like, why are we being lazy? There isn't tomorrow. There isn't the week after. This is today. Figure it out today. What are you getting paid for? And that's another thing. Why even have workers if they're not doing anything? Why not just fire them all and have the bot do it? They're wasting money. And I don't get it. You know, if they were reaping my money, if they wanted to take my money, I understand it. Everybody's trying to take your money. But they're not. They're doing something weirder. I don't know. I don't want to be purely negative. I don't want to complain. I know people get real sick of hearing whines and complaints, but whenever I complain about something on this channel, I'm complaining about anime or a show. I'm talking about shallow things, right? I'm complaining just for the sake of entertainment. In this case, I gotta say something. And this isn't so everybody can share it with, I mean, if you want to, go ahead. You can share it with YouTube or whatever else. This is so I can say, this is why I'm mad. This is why I am frustrated. When you guys are talking about, playing Helldivers, I want to play Helldivers with you guys. I want to stream, things like that. But the videos, they take so long. And I'm always wondering in the back of my head, is this even going to matter? Is anybody going to see it? Because I'm not even sure if they are. Sometimes, I mean, and that's another thing too. My version of success on YouTube is very different from the usual version of success. When I see 960 views on a video, I say, wow, I did a great job. I'm glad it got that high. And then you stop and think, you say, 960? When you see 1,000, you go, wow, that guy's a small channel. So 960, that's my second highest in regular videos. Think about that for a second. That's nothing. That's sticks and picks. That's a big thing, is humility. It isn't about money. It isn't about credit. It's just, I just want people to see my stuff. That's it. That's all I want. I need, if it were 1,000 people per video, I'd be happy forever. You don't need to pay me money. You don't need to say, oh, here's your watch hours, here's your advertisements. Screw that. You don't need to say, oh, yeah, I remember who came up with with this video. That'd be cool, yeah. But you don't need to do that. But if 1,000 people saw every single video, and I mean exactly 1,000, it doesn't even have to be 1,200 or 300 or whatever. If it were 1,000 per video, that's 1,000 people, and I mean all the way through. I don't mean watch 10 seconds of the video. But 1,000 people watched each video all the way through. Dude, that'd be legendary. That'd be perfect. But you don't get that. And I want you guys to remember, this is going to be a bitter pill to swallow in case you haven't already swallowed it. You can also take that out of context. I'm sure it'll be funny. And this is kind of the message I have to say here, which is, remember, those who do not work are gifted things. Those who work get nothing. Now, working hard can make you feel good. It is good to be a hardworking person because it means you are keeping yourselves alive. That's what matters. With this entertainment, I love doing this. This is what I live for, is to entertain, to do this kind of thing. Now, sure, I'm going to go off, get a job, whatever, make money, but that's besides the point. This here, this is what I like to do. I like to watch anime, I like to talk about it. Or if I watch a Star Wars movie, whenever that Mando and Grogu movie comes out, I'm probably going to make a video on it. It's not anime. I don't care. I love Star Wars. Do something like that? Sure. But the big thing is, I want to see hard work pay off. And the sad truth is, hard work almost never pays off. And this isn't a recent thing either. That's pretty common. People like to judge and base things off of the times and say, wow, our time period sucks a whole lot worse than other time periods. In terms of things like morality, people always say, like, oh, people now are more greedy, more evil. They're not. It's the same as it's always been. You can just tell because the internet exists, so you can see them now. There's glass now. You replace the wall. It's no longer drywall, it's glass. So now you, instead of just hearing them, you can see them too. And you go, oh, yep, that's an evil man right there. That's one of the harsh realities of humanity. Hard work never mattered. That doesn't. It does for some people. Working hard is good. But there's a reason celebrities exist. Celebrities exist because getting to that position is next to impossible. And there's a lot of shortcuts, and I feel like I don't need to tell you guys this, but a lot of illegal activity that has to be done to get to that position. I don't know one freaking, okay, first of all, no politician ever got there legitimately. There's always illegal activity somewhere, even if it's minor. Celebrities, especially in Hollywood, 99% of them have done illegal things. Okay, and I'm not talking about petty theft. I'm talking about, fraud, trafficking, things like that. Tax evasion. Tax evasion is another thing. People don't think much of tax evasion. In fact, we glorify it a lot. But tax evasion, the very act of doing that is cheating ahead of other people. It's cheating the system to get an advantage. It's just a matter of getting those people to get away with it. That is all for this time. If you guys enjoyed, please leave a like, comment, and I will see you all.